the Houston Astros farm feature. And I'll begin with this. No top 100 prospects at the time of this recording. Very much building out their farm system back from the ground up. And we begin with number 1, Brice Matthews, a second baseman. He's already made his Major League Baseball debut last year. This is the Astros' first-round pick from the 2023 MLB draft. Made it to the bigs, had his cup of coffee down the stretch last year. Unique stat line, he went 7 of 42 for a 167 batting average, but 4 of those 7 hits left the yard. So the pop is there. 55 grade power might even be gimping him a bit at a position that usually doesn't house a ton of thump at second base. You know, you have your Ketel Martes, you have your occasional one-offs, but usually that's a contact guy and someone that's fluid in the middle of the infield, much like your shortstop. We go back to a slightly larger sample size, say AAA ball with the Sugar Land Space Cowboys. He had 17 homers and 41 stolen bags in just 112 games. So could be a 20-20, 25-25. I don't want to say 30-30 guy because we haven't seen that in the minors yet, but that could be on the horizon for him. It's someone who flew all the way up to AAA within a year and then debuted about 2 years out from his draft selection. Intangibles are there. He's a relatively disciplined hitter. Biggest red flag is his 31% strikeout rate in 2024, but it's not because he was chasing. It's because he couldn't touch the stuff in the zone. His in-zone swing and miss rate was an issue. So it's not so much about what's between the ears. It's more about his fundamentals and finding a way to put bat to ball. Xavier Neyens, the shortstop, 2029, is the second person on this list. Number 2 overall prospect in the Astros system. Houston picked 21st in last year's draft. They picked this 6'4", 210-pound 19-year-old who packs a punch. We're going to see his pro debut this year, but he has a 65 power tool, jumping off the charts, a rocket arm to supplement that, and plenty of leverage from that 6'4", 210-pound frame in general. The bat speed is remarkable, but when he was on the summer showcase against other top prospect talents at the prep level throughout the country, when he went toe-to-toe with high-end pitching, he almost got a little too passive. Not like I'm trying to work on at bat, but just I got to wait until I see something I like, and next thing you know, 3 strikes, you're out. So he's got enough speed at his size to hold down the shortstop spot for the moment, but don't be shocked if the Stros decide to move him over to the hot corner after some time, especially for someone who can pick it like Neyens. I do want to say before I move on, Cam Smith could have been in this list. So when I say there's no one in the top 100 prospects list, I don't know if he would have been here at this point, but at least last year they would have had the presence of someone in the top 100. Cam Smith in the trade with the Cubs for Kyle Tucker and company skipped AAA. Like, did not play. Not even go there for a week and figure out your swing. Like, went straight from AA Knoxville, Tennessee, to the majors. So just something to keep in mind in here when you see it's a little hollow. Walker Janek is our number 3 guy, catcher, 2027. One of the most exciting prospects, I think, in baseball right now, albeit a little underrated, because of his meteoric rise as a pre-draft prospect. Went from hardly getting any college looks in general in high school to being the first catcher off the board after 3 years of eye-popping numbers at Sam Houston. He slashed 364, 476, 709 with 17 long balls, and he threw out 52% of runners last spring to win the Buster Posey Award. So if you tried to run on this guy, chances are you're not getting to where you want to go, right? Arm talent is off the charts. 65 grade arm tool. Framing and blocking are solid, but still on the up and up there. One of the biggest adjustments, actually, is at college, he wasn't calling the pitches. It was coming from the dugout. So now in Major League Baseball, you're calling pretty much everything. So it's one of those things that he is making the adjustment with and fine-tuning, if you will, in the minors. Looked strong on offense in high A Asheville last year with the Tourists. Janek throttled 12 homers, stole 30 bags from the catching position to the tune of a 263 batting average. Still classified as defense first, but he has raw power upside. He is projected to debut not this year, but next. Jacob, this is one of those telltale examples of a team deciding, instead of going for one of the top high school prospects in the country and getting them up to the majors by the ripe age of 20, we're going to go with someone whose floor is so high they almost couldn't possibly be a complete bust. as we see more and more of these different guys on the dartboard, plop in right out of high school or 3 to 4 years of college, both around the same parts of the draft board. Rock Chalowski's the projected number 1 overall pick. He's in year 3 of college. Where do you lie on valuing a high floor, someone in college, versus a high ceiling, best 18-year-old prospect in the country?
Yeah, I don't know because I think it also comes down to the philosophy of the team. Like the Astros, their philosophy, as you just mentioned with Cam Smith, in a different degree. I know we really discussed this at length with the Angels last week about hey, we're just gonna draft a guy, and if he shows an inkling of stuff at any level, he is going to have the opportunity to get caught up immediately. So I think that this is kind of a spin-off of that discussion. And the Astros are a team that like those kind of higher floor guys because they think they can take that higher floor and bring it to a higher ceiling. Those kind of underrated guys. Chas McCormick comes to mind. I know he's no longer on the team, but guys like that who kind of out of nowhere, they can find that skill and they will enhance that skill that that player brings to the best of their ability, bring them up, and they are great at that skill. And, they might not last a ton, but they will help in that department. So I think though for me, I think I'm more of a polished guy. I love that kind of upside, like that kind of 5 tool, 4 tool, sometimes master of none, great at a few different things that needs the polishment. But I mean, so in a way, almost like bringing back that velocity versus control guy. Do you want the sure thing, or do you want the little wild card? And I think in this instance, I'm taking the wild card. But teams like the White Sox, teams like the Rays, teams like the Pirates are more willing to take that wild card than a team like the Dodgers, a team like the Astros. You can even say like the Phillies, the Mets. Those are guys that I think now you're starting to see. They'll take those if they have an opportunity to pick that chance. They'll find that balance. But you're seeing those teams with the higher floor guys because they have aspirations for a championship. And if they can pick a guy that is excellent at one skill that they have mastered, they think they can utilize that better than these other clubs.
Number 4 on our list is Miguel Ullola. He is a right-handed pitcher already making his major league debut after logging over 400 innings in minor league ball. Ullola has all the intangibles to be a dominant pitcher in this league. Older international signing in 2021. He led all of minor league baseball in opponents' batting average at 163 back in 2024, while also ranking 3rd in strikeouts with 171 over just 130 innings pitched. His fastball is a 70 grade. Plenty of arm side ride up the zone, kind of has that rising effect as it leaves the mound territory, and he's knocking on the door of the big leagues after a steady season in AAA Sugarland. I would not be shocked if he broke the roster this year. His main drawback, walking a hitter every inning and a half. So while Ullola is very tough to hit, he struggles with control. His lowest attribute at a 40 grade is just his ability to control his arsenal. So the potential is there. It's just about harnessing each and every one of those pitches. Number 5 is Josue Sullivan, an outfielder, ETA 2027. He's rangy and quickly turning into a pretty promising story. He was a 7th-round pick in the 2024 MLB draft, and now he's already cracked the top 5 in Houston's top prospects list this last year and has made it to as high as AA Corpus Christi. His walk numbers are notably close to his strikeouts, making him a tough at-bat, even when he's not hitting the ball particularly hard or often. 60 run tool is backed by 42 stolen bases in his 2025 campaign. And for Sullivan, it's a lot of hard ground balls to the right side of the infield. So the big thing for him is if you're going to pull the ball, selecting the strikes that you'll be able to get a decent long launch angle on and not ones that you're going to roll over on. So very nitpicky stuff there. Diamond in the rough is Josue Fleury, number 14 overall prospect in Houston's system. He started his pro ball career by logging a 60-4 strikeout to walk ratio in the rookie level Dominican Summer League in 2022 amongst his peers. 60 grade changeup, grades the highest of any pitch. And this is someone with over 290 innings of work now in the minors, 354 strikeouts to just 113 walks. Battled through a thigh injury a couple of years ago, but he's proven to be hard to hit with a career opponent batting average of 206. And then quickly, strengths and weaknesses. Strengths, fair balance of power and speed in and beyond that top five. A nice pitcher mix in with Ullola being just about ready to hit the show. And overall, I think the pipeline has a little bit of everything when it comes to strong skill sets. The weakness is what we started this segment with. And so they don't have any top-end names. Brice Matthews is their top-end name, and he is not in MILB's top 100. So I think it makes life tough when a front office is trying to swing for a win-now move in the trade market if their top prospect talent isn't even rated amongst the top 100 in the league. Now, we have seen teams do this still and still pull this off with a less than optimal farm system. Example, the Rangers, who you just talked about, did it for Mackenzie Gore. But where you are grabbing 4 or 5 names in a certain instance, if you had a stronger farm system, you may only be using 2 or 3 prospects. I guess as we wrap this up, Jacob, we're looking at 2 teams that are kind of rebuilding in their pipeline in general. For the Astros, do you think they go and just ride out as many winning seasons as they can without really committing to getting farm talents in, and also hope that their development staff just brings in some of these guys and elevates them to a top 100 level? Or do you think if they hit a certain point this year where they're a handful of games under 500 at the trade deadline, it's time to go build the farm and accept that we're in a rebuilding period?
Yeah, I think it's going to go with the former. I think they're going to ride it out just based on the talent that they still have with Yordan Alvarez, with Jeremy Pena, with Christian Walker, what he brings. Also on the pitching side, signing Tatsui Amai, Hunter Brown, his ascension. So, I think there are pieces there that they'll be in the hunt in this division that, much like the NL Central and NL East, there's AL East, there's a lot of these teams that can make a move. So, but yeah, you have a few of these teams in this division in particular, them and the Rangers, who at that same kind of crux where it's like, and it's so funny, they were both in the ALCS facing off against each other just 2 years ago, or just a few years ago.